With the loaded 2016 lineup of games, many games have just been swept under the radar. One of those games that has been seemingly forgotten is the new Hitman game. Branded as a reboot of sorts, Hitman is the latest game starring Agent 47 from Square Enix. The game garnered a bit of notoriety due to its release plan. Hitman, what many would consider a big budget AAA game, would be an episodic downloadable game. So if you just want the first portion of the game, you have the option to buy the intro pack for $15 and buy the rest later on. You may have not known, but Hitman also just had a beta. I've played it and here's my takeaway. Does Hitman suck? Let's find out. Now obviously this isn't a full review and rather a few initial impressions. The beta only included a small section of the game, however it does give you a general idea of the mechanics behind the game. Right off the bat, when you boot up any video game, the first thing you probably will notice is the visuals. Graphics have been a bit of a controversial topic this generation, and when Hitman actually releases, I expect a lot more people to start complaining about it. If you've played Hitman Absolution, this new game does not look much better. And I might be crazy, but in some cases I think this game actually looks worse. Graphics aren't everything, but this is a new generation of consoles. People have dropped tons of money on PC hardware, and there is a standard that should be met for a game that, while the intro pack is $15, if you want to get all the content, you will be paying a full retail price. Not only are the graphics subpar, the frame rate is also very inconsistent. And here comes the White Knight saying that this is just a beta, you can't judge the frame rate. The game releases in 2 weeks, it's basically a finished product at this point. Sure, they might make a few tweaks and get the frame rate a bit more consistent, but I highly doubt they can fix the whole thing. On a high-end PC, the frame rate was all over the place, so that's pretty scary if you're playing on a console. Okay, so enough about frame rate and visuals. What about the game itself? Well, the game goes back to an open level approach that gives players a ton of options in how they want to tackle different objectives. Hitman Absolution was very linear, so this is a very nice change of pace from that game. The levels are also loaded with NPCs and they actually feel a bit real. They don't walk around aimlessly not doing anything, they have their own routines and their own different quirks. The disguise system is great, but some NPCs are familiar with the location enough to still recognize you with the disguise on. It adds a bit of urgency to each level. Also, with the levels being more open, there's a lot more content in each of the levels. Challenges, missions, there was quite a bit to do in the beta. But mechanically, Hitman has a lot of problems. The animations and movements are so stiff, not cardboard levels bad, but you would expect a lot more in 2016. AI is pretty hit or miss, and just odd things like no animations for swapping weapons and gear just put me off. The shooting is also rather subpar, but this is more of a stealth game first, so you can kind of give that a pass. It's 2016, but Hitman seems like a game from a decade ago. So those are my first impressions of the Hitman beta. What do you think? Have you played the beta and enjoyed it? Do you agree with me and feel like it's a dated game? Will you be picking up the game next month? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.